Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, hello and welcome to the second episode of Mission Control. Today we're featuring Flipit, but before we kick off, Aneeda, why don't you tell us about LFG?
Hey, hello, welcome. So, as you guys know, we did come out and tell you a little bit about LFG and what's going on. So, today we are actually highlighting Flipit. Now, don't forget about our other projects because we still have Valley, Nemesis Downfall, Magneto HR, and today our highlight is Flipit. Now, before we do anything else today, you guys, let's hit that like and subscribe button. Show us some love because we're right back here showing it to you guys. Okay, so I'm seeing 2 likes, y'all. Let's get on it.
One of them
All
is
right.
mine. I know y'all aren't putting in the legwork.
I know the other one was probably mine. So, funny story. Since we have to actually introduce Flipit today, I really, really, really wish that Flipit existed like a year and a half ago, and I was aware of it because I was looking for some Converse sneakers, and I have this one pair that I really, really love. Okay, and I searched the internet far and wide for super, super cute editions of them, and I saw this one pair, and it was white and silver, and I couldn't find it anywhere else. I didn't know if the site was legit. There was no way of finding out anything about it at all, okay? And I was dumb enough to be like, "Oh my god, they have it in my size, and I'm gonna go and buy it." So I sent them money. Guess what I never got?
The sneakers.
Oh, yeah, the sneakers.
But
So
Flipit, yeah, Flipit is here to help everyone with whatever it is you're doing. If you miss the days of internet where there was less noise, where there were less artificial algorithms pointing your ways you don't necessarily want to go, feeding you the information you do not want to see, Flipit is here to cut through all the noise, and it's super accessible. Once you have the extension, all you need to do is reach in the top right corner of the page, pull on it, tap on it, and you get to the back with real reviews and real people talking, telling you what's going on, telling Aneeda not to buy sneakers from that website, hopefully telling my wife the same thing. But we're one step closer every day. And if you do want to get access, get the beta access, we do have a giveaway going on. For everyone on the stream, we'll be giving away 10 keys. And after the stream, if you did not get your key, make sure to leave a comment on how you would like to use Flipit, which particular website, what sort of utility you're looking forward to, and then fill out a Google form that's pinned in the description. And we will be picking winners about the same time next week. You guys will be reached out via email, and you'll get your early access, and you can go and explore. You can be the first one to comment on the backside of your favorite page. I know I already did that for a few. Don't necessarily want to tell you which ones, but if you find them, do let me know.
good stuff. Now, that link for the giveaway is also in our chat box and YouTube as well. So you guys get on it, fill it out.
But that's not all. We do have a Gleam contest going on. So if you're itching for some LFG merch, if you're itching,
Y'all, look. I have to show you back. I have to show you back. Do you have yours on today?
yeah. I just can't see it behind my microphone right here.
But y'all, how cute is that?
There it is. So if you are looking for some merch, we are hosting a Glim contest, so make sure to check it out. It's in the links. As of now, we're giving away some cash and some LFG stickers. So do check it out. Do participate. Super simple. You might have already done most of the things on the docket, but yeah, do check it out. And I feel like we've been running our mouths here for a bit, so we do have a super cool video from Flipit, and then we have Jason himself and Kevin, the CDO of Flipit. Good poll, please and thank you.
Let's get it going.
Yet again, I find myself putting reed to papyrus to demand remuneration for your smelly and lazy furniture. I am cursed by a table of such degenerate quality, the legs remain horribly uneven. And I expect a refund within 28 tides at the latest. despair to have experienced such terrible workmanship. Never has it worked since it... Almost never has it worked since...
Manuel! Here, send this and clean yourself up, man.
Seriously? They've deleted my review? Can anyone even see this?
Relax. With Flipit, you can flip any web page over and write directly on the back. I can leave my review right here and chat to other users in real time. Easy as a walk on the beach.
Flipit is the easiest way to help clean up the internet. So let's level the playing field for the products and services that you guys really want.
I do believe someone is complaining about our canoes. Ooh.
You know, you can use Flipit to say good things too.
I'm hearing voices, I'm making bad choices. Say I'm a mental patient and I'm getting bored. They ask me
Hey guys, how we doing today?
Good, great.
Awesome. So, excuse me. I am coming to you guys from beautiful Hong Kong, where the sun is just starting to come up. I will show you the sunrise here in a few minutes. Once it's just starting to pink in the sky out here. It's just after 6 a.m. I'm here for the Game On Summit. I was invited by Bowie Lau. Yesterday I did 2 panels. One about gaming and DPIN, or GameFi and DPIN, and then the other about gaming communities. And both fantastic panels, went really well. I was up there with some of the guys from Animoca and a few other really awesome projects. And Bowie Lau is the leader of the Game On Summit, and very, very nice to hang out with her again and all of that. So hopefully some of that is being streamed and you guys will be able to see it. I'll be able to repost it later. But today is all about Flipit, and I want to apologize for my crappy phone setup here. So I can't actually see what anyone is saying in Discord or on YouTube or anything like that. Hopefully within the next 2 weeks I will actually have a real honest to God office set up and can have all of my screens again so I can see all of the things. But today is all about Flipit, and would like to introduce Kevin, the CTO of Flipit. How you doing today, Kevin?
Good. Thanks for having me.
We are delighted to have you here, man. I mean, you are Mike. Mike is, and it's 5 a.m. for Mike right now. So I kind of doubt we're going to see him. But if we do see Mike, that's great. But Mike is the vision behind Flipit. You are where the rubber meets the road, technical implementation master of all of this. So congratulations for building what you guys have built so far.
Yeah,
it's
thanks.
really, really cool. What was it originally that got you interested in Flipit and sort of this vision that Mike has?
Mike sold me on the vision, and I think it was just the pure concept. I was busy with some other things, and Mike basically said, "Hey, do you have a minute? I just really want to run an idea past you." I think he knew that I'd, fall in love with it once he told me.
And 14 hours later.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
One of the funny things about hanging out with Mike is the rather immense time slippage that occurs. Because that man loves to create vision, which is something that I love about hanging out with him, because he's a really, really interesting dude. And I can totally understand him selling you on that vision, because he's extremely passionate about it. and it's a really, really cool thing to see. For you, what sort of when you first heard this idea, I know that you probably did the same thing I did, and or I do in situations like that, sit down and try to figure out exactly the best way to build something like this. What have been a couple of the challenges that have popped up that you didn't expect?
I expected certain challenges like scaling. We have to scale to the entire web. You can flip any web page over. So I kind of anticipated those. The ones that kind of caught me off guard were actually building the flip effect, integrating with the web browsers. So, I mean, mobile is one thing, mobile apps, that kind of thing. But on the desktop, where the effect really shines, because you're sitting on your computer, big screen, how to build that was surprisingly complicated.
Interesting.
Yeah, modern browsers, they really limit what you can do, especially with Manifest version 3, if you're familiar with the changes that are happening. So, we have to work around that, but we're also performing something on web pages, any web page that, the owner of that web page might not want us to do. Or maybe they do want us to do, but the web page is built really poorly. So we went through a ton of iterations, came up with some pretty novel solutions, to isolate the actual page, perform our effect, be able to load things in real time so that when you flip that page over, everything's there. That was really caught us off guard. When I heard this idea, I was like, I could make this extension in a month. And
Right.
it was more like a year of some really smart people solving some really hard problems.
The way that I describe Flipit when I talk to people, I had a dinner last night where I was talking to some people about Flipit. I describe Flipit as a layer 2 for the entire internet. That's primarily because the people I talk to are Web3 people sort of at heart. So that analogy makes sense to them. But to the average user, describing it as, a place where people can put reviews, where people can engage in live chats, I think is something that's really powerful. When I describe this, I often, use Tesla.com as an example. And imagine what it would be like to have all of us that are listening to this right now looking at Tesla.com. And then, in our normal experience with that website, there's a barrier between us. There's an impenetrable brick wall between users of a specific website. What Flipit does is it breaks that down and allows you to have access to the full range of communication tools necessary to really understand that website and the community of users surrounding it, which I think is profoundly powerful. It always reminds me of the sort of early Web3 crypto exchanges like Poloniex. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Poloniex, but the troll box on Poloniex, being able to have everyone all typing at once in the troll box while people are trading, that was a really cool experience. And I think it's neat to see this being brought back to the entire internet through Flipit. With regards to some of the live chat features and things like that, what other features do you want to eventually be able to put on the back of web pages? And just note for everybody, conversations right now around this sort of stuff, as in future things, these are all subject to roadmap and all subject to change and things like that. So I don't want Kevin to say something and then 3 months later somebody to be like, well, Kevin said during an AMA. But this is just a free flowing discussion, Kevin. So anything.
Disclaimer, so I don't have to do it. Mike, I was going to say, Mike will kill me if I give away the farm on what we have planned down the line.
Right.
I can say short term, we're looking at integrating like a full advertising engine to allow targeted advertising on the back of pages within certain parameters. We don't want to annoy people too much or anything like that. We have the next iteration of the back page design, which is going to be a huge improvement. And then I think farther out, we're looking at more collaborative things, browsing with other people, doing, cross-site, cross-page interactions and that kind of thing.
Sorry, I'm chewing through a throat lozenge here. So the advertising thing is really important because one of the primary consumptive uses of the token is purchasing advertising. And according to the tokenomics model, any tokens that are used to purchase advertising are burned, and reduce the supply is the circulating supply and total supply is then reduced by that amount. Currently, the plan is, and again, subject to change, but currently the plan is that you will receive a discount eventually purchasing advertising with the token. You will still be able to purchase advertising with credit card and stable coins and things like that, but using the native token will result in a discount for you. And that's really powerful because when you start to look at sort of the economics of online advertising, I had a really interesting conversation with a guy, and hopefully he's listening to this actually, but he runs a series of restaurants. And I asked him, well, what is your monthly ad spend on digital ads? And he's spending about $800 a day on online advertising. And when you start to realize the scale of online advertising and then pushing that through an entire tokenomic structure, things get very, very interesting very fast. Because that provides an incredibly large consumptive use of the token, whether you're looking at it from a Web 2 or Web 3 perspective. Because the nice thing about, organizations like Flipit and the way that the protocol is set up sort of from a Web 3 tokenomics perspective, you could even have somebody set up an entire advertising company on top of Flipit, just like people do with Google Ads right now. There are whole businesses set up specifically to take and essentially resell Google Ads, where they will do all of the ad configuration for you. You pay them. They then have a person who's the expert at Google Ads. They go through and they configure everything for you, and they ship it that way. They could take payment from customers in fiat, get a discount, by using the token, and that results in tons of advertising and user flow into the system, as well as tons of consumptive use of the token. So that's something that I find very, very exciting about this. For you, Kevin, what do you see as being a major selling point for Flipit as a whole? Like, what is your use case?
Personally, I think the thing that I like the most is it solves what I'm seeing on the internet as like the inability to assert yourself. If I have a complaint with this website, maybe they've locked down how you interact on their website. I look back at the old days of the web where it felt like everywhere you went on the web was a place to interact, kind of like openly. And now, you can go on Reddit or Discord to discuss things, and that's all well and good. But bringing your
provided that they don't want to ban you from Reddit or Discord.
Exactly. Yeah. So bringing the interaction closer to the source of the thing you're talking about is huge for me. The example everyone uses is I bought something that was junk. I went on the website, they don't allow reviews, or they screen everything that they write. So I have to go somewhere else to complain about it. Nobody's going to see that. Amazon's controlling reviews of things. The ability to go on Amazon where you got scammed with a junk product and flip it over and be like, hey guys, just so you know, blah, 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 blah. That's what I like the most. That's what really got me.
Now, I have a potentially irritating question. And if this is because I know that this is a question that other people have had. I've seen it discussed in our Discord a couple times. I want to say Subspace, who is usually the source of excellent questions, has asked something along these lines. But all of these, and by the way, if you don't like this question, tell me to shut the hell up and I'll ask a different one. But all of the backs of the pages, they're URL based and URL bound, right? So I guess two questions. One, do they take like appendages to URLs like UTMs and whatnot into account, or are all those truncated and then you just are working with like the base URL? I guess is question number one.
Yeah, okay. We have a complicated system of heuristics to decide that.
Okay.
And I have a feeling that you're getting to like a bigger point here.
The next point is let's say that my name is Aneeda, and I'm adorable and tried to buy white and silver Converse, and it was a total scam, and it just totally as an example, and I go to leave a review on scamsneakers.com / white silver Converse, and then they go ahead and they're like, well, this is a terrible review. This person is going to keep us from scamming more people. We don't like that. And then so they change the URL to silver and white Converse, and content's the same, but now the URL has changed. Is there anything eventually, and there may not be, but there will eventually associate content that was on one page that then migrated to another page that will follow that over?
Yeah, that's actually a great question. So on our short-term roadmap, we have aliasing coming soon, which will allow users to collaboratively indicate to us that 2 pages, 2 URLs, 2 sites are all the same thing.
Okay.
So right out of the
they
browser,
can like
you'll be able to say, hey, this is
flag
actually this. Yeah, exactly. And then if enough people collaborate on that to also agree, some threshold based on the popularity of the site, then within our system we'll automatically say, hey, these are actually the same place, these are the same backs, and they'll be dynamically merged.
Nice. That's cool. I like that. I like that as an option, because I mean that's kind of the first thing that you look at when you look at things like this, because there's always the question of how do you take something that is designed specifically to have really a positive impact on a particular industry or on a particular system, and recognize that people will attempt to subvert that.
Right.
Like moderation is another good example that people have asked questions on. Is obviously at the end of the day, what we everybody wants, right, is a sort of self-moderating, self-policing system. I know that right now you guys have sort of moderator stuff built in, but in the future, that may change somewhat. Do you have any thoughts around that as a general concept?
Yeah, I think as far as Flipit goes, we have tools that we're going to be introducing that let things be more crowdsourced. I mean, the dream of every
Right.
site where users can contribute is self-sustainable, self-moderating systems. But we have moderating tools, and then I mean, I don't want to talk too much because I know Mike wants to keep a lot of this under wraps.
Sure.
There's patents pending and stuff like that. But yeah, we have a lot of kind of novel approaches to moderation and that kind of thing coming.
Okay. Well, he shouldn't have slept in. I mean, basically, him not being awake at 5 a.m. is license for you to say whatever you want. That's how that works here, guys. I'll show you. This is the Hong Kong skyline this morning. So
How pretty.
it's quite pretty. It's actually really beautiful at night. It's really, really beautiful at night. Hong Kong is an incredibly vibrant city, and the sheer verticality of this place is insane. I've never been in any city that is as multi-layered vertically as Hong Kong is. Absolutely crazy. But beautiful, wonderful people, great food. Went to dinner with some of my buddies from a couple different companies that are based here last night. Had some nice long conversations, and we had some really good Korean barbecue. was on point. So yeah. Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to distract with the Sunrise Bay view thing here.
No worries.
So in Aneeda and Mark, do you guys see anything coming in from the community? Any particularly interesting questions?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it ties into that
You mind
last
if we hit some of those, Kevin? By the way.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. Now we may not just again, full disclosure, guys. We may not be able to answer all of these questions. Kevin and I work very closely with Mike, obviously, but Mike is the visionary behind all of this. There will definitely be stuff that we have to say. We defer to Mike on that. Now, for what it is worth, what we are going to be doing is hopefully within the next week, doing another session like this, a special session, just on Flipit, where we can get Mike involved, but it'll be at a more reasonable hour for the people in Asia, because turns out people don't like waking up and listening to a podcast at 5 or 6 in the morning, because honestly, that sucks. So we're going to do something at a little bit of a more normal hour. So anyway, let's see what some of the community has to say.
So it goes back to that same question about moderating. What if you find like one person that just like targets people just to talk smack on Flipit, as Subspace was saying? What if this, like, all the shit talking is tied to one person and it's just posted on multiple sites on Flipit? How do we go? Do we go and ban? How does that moderation work?
I can't answer that from a technical perspective, but do you mind if I answer it from a non-technical perspective, Kevin?
Yeah,
Mike might get angry at me, but what can I say? One of the big things with Flipit that's very important in the conversations that I've had with Mike around this, and again, I defer to him on everything regarding the vision here, but one of the things that's important is the concept of reputation. And if you are low credibility, okay, or you're just a person who just goes and like screams into the void, nobody's going to take that as being particularly credible, and so over time it won't stick. Is that an accurate statement, Kevin?
Yeah, I would say that's accurate. Plus, we have a hierarchy of credibility within the site. So, if there's enough, topics that they've talked about or different sites that they've talked about, where people have reported them, blocked them, voted them down, eventually that's going to affect the user as a whole, and the system's going to, bias against them.
That's good. It's kind of interesting. It's like when you go and you look at a Yelp reviewer, and that person, anytime there's like a 1-star reviewer of anything, there's only 2 types of 1-star reviews that exist. One is the really, really important 1-star review where somebody never, ever leaves a negative review unless something really, really hardcore terrible happens. And then they'll finally be like, look, I'm not the type of person to leave these reviews, but this was so fucked up, I have to go ahead and I have to tell my story. Super important, right? Those are very powerful reviews. The other type, can you guys mute Mark, by the way? He's got the world's clickiest keyboard. It's fantastic. The other type of review that you see is the I review everything at 1 star because I'm just a hateful person. And the only time they ever leave a review is if it's a horrible negative review, and it's 50% of the time doesn't have anything to do with this. It's like, I went to this restaurant and I was having a bad day, so 1 star, fuck that.
Right.
And so things like that should fall out of the bottom over time, because they just should.
Yeah, well said. And Mike's very aware of that kind of situation.
Yeah, he's a pretty clued in guy. What other questions we got, Aneeda or Mark?
We have a question from Niner. Any referral ability for advertising? Yeah, that's a good one.
We maybe should leave that one for Mike.
Yeah, let's skip that one.
The short answer is absolutely yes, but the system is involved. Is that a nice way to say it, Kevin?
Yeah.
But Mike, this is something that Mike cares a great deal about, and I don't want to run my mouth and get it wrong. Let's put it that way.
So I asked a question earlier, and I always want to know the backstory behind every project. Like, what inspired it? Did we get super salty because of something that triggered this
Because of
project?
sneakers not being delivered?
Yeah, 'cause I'm always curious because there's always something that sparks inspiration, right?
Mike has a whole story on that. I don't want to take away from that. He's been in tech for quite a while, and I think he's got an interesting story that people will enjoy hearing.
Okay, we should get that recorded because I love the
We
backstory.
should, we
Always
should
interesting.
do it on some sort of live stream thing like this. Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe, this would be fun. What if I take my camera setup and my laptop and I go have lunch with Mike somewhere? Good Paul says yes. Good Paul likes that idea. So maybe we'll find a restaurant and make it a cool mukbang thing as well. So, steak and flip it. Oh, because you can flip a steak. There you go.
Well
we do
played.
have a great question coming in from Jess in Discord. What if some of the big guys don't like back of the page and try to go against Flipit? Is that on the table / under control?
What if
a big corporation doesn't like the back of their page?
So,
I'm
for
sure there are
example,
going to be a lot of big corporations that don't like the back of their page. I mean, I like, honestly, have you ever looked at the Twitter feeds, the ads for pick a business? Like pick a bank or a insurance company or anything. I mean, I think that most of the time, you remember Forrest Gump? Like Mom always said, if you don't have nothing nice to say, you shouldn't say anything at all. The inverse of that typically applies on the internet. It's like, if you have something nice to say, well, don't say anything. Just wait until you're salty and then come back and yell about that. So I think that there's definitely going to be people who, I mean, the watchwords behind Flipit are truth and transparency, right? And so there's definitely going to be people that are very unhappy about the backs of their pages, especially if there's been points at which they've tried to have communications and have not been able to do that. Or if they feel unheard in some other way. So there definitely will be, but I don't personally see what anyone could do about that. Everyone pretty much has the right to say what they want. They're not actually putting it on the company's website. It's just on the back of the page. It's somewhere else. And over time, the goal is for that to be in an entirely decentralized, anti-fragile, DePIN structure. So, like,
Right.
And that's the beauty of it, right? The even playing field. If they want to do something about it, they need to come by it honestly.
I mean, how about just not being a dick? Like it's
not being
really,
shitty is a good rule.
yeah. I mean, like my father said just before he passed that, if you're going to do something and doing that thing makes you an asshole, don't do that thing. Do something else instead. I mean, it's very simple. And so if you're a company and you don't like the things that you're seeing said about you, just like if you're a person and you don't like the things being said about you, you always have the ability to change. I think this can be a massive force for good and a forcing function to get people and companies to do the right thing.
Right. And you touched on it briefly, but technically even though the content is visually on the back of their page, it's not using their infrastructure. It's not served from their servers. It doesn't really touch their system. And beyond that, we're performing this at a level kind of above their web server. It's happening in your browser. It's your choice to have this. You're using a mobile app. You've made the choice. You want this put on there. It's not really anything technically they can do about it. And then I'm sure Mike will toss in a lot of more interesting stuff about this, but Mike is also kind of on the other side made things really fair to the page owners. There's a process to say, hey, I own this page. I'm going to claim it. I'm an organization. I'm going to, my team of users is going to claim it. And we have the ability to say like, hey, we own this page. We've claimed the back, not giving them the ability to delete bad content about themselves, but at least they can be informed about it and respond officially.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that I've always found very powerful is the, you see it on Yelp reviews occasionally, or Google reviews, where somebody will leave a negative comment, and then somebody from an organization will come along and say, thanks for leaving this comment, we appreciate that, we always try to do better, we're sorry you had a bad experience, what we can do is A, B, and C. And then you have that really good back and forth communication that I think is so critical, to having having customers and companies work together as part of a sort of virtuous ecosystem, because really both perspectives are required. You need people to tell you the things that they're unhappy about so that you can change them and make them better. If you don't have that, then you're never going to know.
Right. Well said.
Any other questions that you guys are seeing, or anyone in YouTube who's watching this, or anyone in Discord who has something to say?
So I think the question on everyone's mind is the advanced bot detection system, because realistically, that's what we're running away from, the bots. Would you be able to talk about that, Kevin?
In generalities, I can. There's a lot of proprietary stuff involved in a lot of stuff that we're working on, but in general, being plugged into the browser level, the extensions and then apps, gives us a lot of tools to verify somebody's a real person. And then on top of that, kind of our multi-layered cred system also lets the system quickly identify bots, and then we have some other technology behind that. It's a question that's more for Mike, because it's kind of his brainchild. It's kind of his, his world. But I can say there is something for that, and it's pretty interesting.
I look forward to being able to have this conversation with Mike as well, because I think he's gonna probably end up being a 7-hour show or something like that.
Okie dokie. And folks, we will be working on scheduling another one of these at a better time for our community in Asia. And there will be an announcement at some point later this week. So do stay tuned. We are going to continue this conversation. And if you have a question that wasn't answered here today, it will be next time around. And while I'm running my mouth, I'm going to remind everyone again that we do have a giveaway for the early access, for the beta access, sorry. So make sure to leave a comment once the stream is done about how you plan to use Flipit, what your first use case is going to be, and fill out the form that's pinned in the description, as well as the live chat, for a chance to win that early access and be the first to comment on your favorite page.
That's awesome. I can't wait. I know where I'm gonna put my first use. For sure. We actually have one more question.
Sure.
And it's from our YouTube feed here, and it's from Triple X. How will you police copyright material? Like, I was able to upload a YouTube video of Michael Jackson's song to the back of X.
A YouTube video?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a YouTube video, so that's a YouTube question. I mean,
So
YouTube would be the
that's just
one that would
pretty
have
much
to
a
do the.
repost.
Yeah. I mean, that's YouTube's content moderation, not a Flipit issue. But answering the question in a little bit more of an abstract manner, there's all sorts of different services and whatnot that can help and facilitate in identifying copyrighted material and things like that.
Yeah,
That's
we're going to leverage a scanning system for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a great question, and I understand that that was just an example of what somebody might do. And yeah, that's something that we've considered. I mean, we don't want to be a place where people are posting copyrighted information and
right.
we have takedowns and that kind of thing. But we also are kind of following industry standards for reporting that kind of thing and handling it.
Yeah, those the internet is a weird and interesting place. I actually had a fascinating a thing with ChatGPT the other day that was really, really interesting. As I know, how old are you, Kevin? I don't actually know. I have no idea.
I'm 39.
Okay, so we're all the same basic age here. Do you guys remember in like Sultans of Swing, or Dire Straits was the band? Dire Straits had a song called "Money for Nothing, Chicks for Free," right? Was the song, and in the song it mentions microwave ovens as a flex, right? It's like, we have a microwave oven. We're amazing. And then I was walking through an airport and I was listening to Black and Yellow, where it talks about having a car with a push button start, right? And I was thinking, what other songs exist out there that have anachronistic demonstrations of wealth or status that in the lyrics, that fast forward 20 years, the thing is like everybody has a microwave. Having a microwave is not a flex, right? Having a car with a push button start is, most new-ish cars have push button starts these days, right? Because they're more reliable than having an actual damn key. So I was asking ChatGPT, what are examples of anachronistic, statuses inside, lyrics, and ChatGPT started giving me a list, and then we got too many words into lyrics, I guess, that it's not supposed to repeat. And the whole thing just chunked and stopped and said, you were attempting to circumvent our copyright infringement blocking thing. Yeah, dude, I got the craziest error message. The craziest error message. And I was like, whoa, because I totally didn't expect that. I mean, I'm obviously not trying to get it to I mean, I would just wanted a list of songs. I don't even need the lyrics. I can go look that up myself. But I found it really, really interesting, because these systems to stop this sort of infringement are very, very well developed and very, very complex, and do a really good job most of the time of preventing that sort of stuff.
Right. And that's not a wheel we want to reinvent.
No, God, no. Use existing technology wherever possible, please, because otherwise it just gets painful. Any other questions that it's coming across, guys?
Lava Entertainment is asking, which chain will Flipit launch on?
So that's still a little bit up in the air, although, and then the reason for that is, and obviously I defer to both Mike and Kevin on this, but we've been looking at doing this on Gala Chain if they achieve the degree of decentralization that is necessary to make it truly more anti-fragile. And they're making great steps towards that. Now, it doesn't have to be on chain, and it won't be on chain. Content and whatnot won't be on chain initially. So there is some time before it gets to to that point. So I wouldn't worry about it too terribly much at this point. But yeah, that's kind of the conversations that have been, had around this. At least Mike and I have been talking about this. And also, hey Lava, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well.
Also, Subspace is correcting your lyrics because apparently the song goes, "We've got to install microwave ovens now that we have them and they're super cool."
Really?
That's what he said.
But you've installed the microwave oven. That's the whole. Somebody check the lyrics. Pull those lyrics up. This is important.
Flip the page and correct Jason's lyrics.
Yeah.
Right. No, it's I always I'm thinking I'm not gonna sing the song on air right now because
But you want to. You want to.
no, I mean because it even goes on to refrigerators and color TVs, and then the guitar line comes back in again. I mean, I think the main thing is he's talking about stuff that's super cool, like color TVs and microwave ovens. Whether or not they have them, let's table that one for a second. But color TVs are clearly a thing that he's excited about in the song, and I don't think that they make non-color TVs anymore. Although it's like when you go to there's parts of Middle America where you're like traveling through there, and you come to the really crappy hotels on the side of the road that still have the like sign that says color TVs that were put up, I don't know how many decades ago, stuff like that. It's like the hills have eyes moments, Kevin, is there anything that you'd like to share with the community before we sort of start to button this up for today?
Not specifically. I'm just excited for people to, start using it and start feeling their way around it and experiencing it.
Yeah, me too. I really want to open this up as wide as possible because I think that, being able to bring people in and start this process of, content expansion across the entire back of the internet is going to be very powerful.
I'm super excited to see it.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Any other questions, guys? And then if not, I think we can button this up at the 50-minute mark and go from there. So I have to run off and meet some people for breakfast today.
I think we're good to go.
I think we are too. Yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe, y'all, because I'm still seeing 2 likes. There's lots of you in here. All you got to do is click that like button.
Refresh the page. Refresh the page.
Oh, refresh the page. Okay, so mine has been stuck. So I've been harping about the 2 likes. So prove me wrong, y'all. Prove me wrong. Hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't done so already, because that's going to let you know when we're coming out with new stuff. So get on it.
Okie dokie. And before we wrap this up, make sure to drop a comment in live chat because that's how we will be picking our winners for the live portion of the giveaway. And once the stream is done, if you did not get yours, make sure to leave a comment about your favorite Flipit utility and fill out the form that's pinned.
Woo! Okay, guys, I'm going to drop off. Subspace just sent me a gigantic DM, so I'm going to have to go drop off of this and go deal with that. I don't know what the deal is, but it involves lyrics. So I will leave it to you guys. Thank you very much for joining us, Kevin. I appreciate it. And yeah, I will see you guys on the flip side. I will let you guys close it out. Have a fantastic day, everyone.
Great. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Well, thank you guys all for joining us this week. It was
see ya.
so strange. I thought we cut out already, but thanks, y'all. Enjoy. We'll see you next week.